What's up, everyone? Hope you guys had a great new comic book day. I picked up pretty much everything I wanted to. I did end up missing out on AWA's newest series, Man's World, but my reviews are in, so keep watching this video to see this week's top 10 list and stick around to the very end to see who claims number one this week. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. AR Comics here, and today I'm going to be going over my top 10 list for this week's new comic book day, January 13th, 2021. But before I get started on this list, if you are new to the channel, I drop weekly comic book content, and if you want to join a growing community dedicated to comic books and raising awareness for mental health, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's get started on this week's top 10 list. So as I was saying before, I wasn't able to get Man's World, the newest series by AWA Upshot, but I was able to get DC's Future State Wonder Woman this week. But as far as this list goes, coming in at number 10 this week, we have a new series, Serial Number 1. This is written by Terry Moore, and this is something that was kind of a last-second pickup for me. I wasn't really anticipating on it, but a lot of people in my previews video were commenting, saying, I'm really looking forward to Serial. I think it's going to be very good. So I picked it up based on what everyone was saying. And honestly, I can't really give you a real opinion on it. So it's written by Terry Moore, and I actually had to look this up after I finished reading it because I had no idea what was even going on in this series. A lot of these characters are from Terry Moore's past issues that he's created. And now this is kind of a brand new series based on one of his characters. So that's why nothing really made sense to me. It's kind of bringing in a lot of old stuff. So if you've read all of his older stuff, or at least some of it, this issue might make a lot more sense to you. But for me, I didn't read any of it. I wasn't really interested in this, pretty much because I had no idea what was going on. I did really like the black and white aspect to it, and I thought the artwork was very cool in its own way too. But as far as the issue goes, like I was saying, I can't really give you a good opinion on it. So it is coming in at number 10. But if I read the prior stuff, I probably would have liked it a little bit more. And up next, coming in at number 9, we have The Immortal Hulk, number 42. This is cover A, and honestly, I really wasn't that big of a fan of this issue. I feel like a lot of these issues have been a letdown to me lately. I'm a huge Immortal Hulk fan, but some of the middle books and now some of this later stuff, it just really hasn't been for me. I think they're really going away from what I personally really enjoyed from The Immortal Hulk. But as far as this issue goes, it felt like to me that there were so many different plot points going on and that it just didn't really flow well together as a story. So you've got Bruce Banner, he's still in the Below dealing with the leader and that whole plot point. But then in this issue, you also had Gamma Flight doing their own thing. And then we had a few other characters that were part of the whole science experiment that went down in whatever that underground bunker was. I can't really remember at this point. And that's also because it feels like some of these characters haven't really been in this series for so long. And now all of a sudden, they're being reintroduced into it. I don't know. It just really wasn't for me. I still am a huge Immortal Hulk fan. I do love this series overall. But these last few issues have been very boring to me, and I just really want to see what's going on with the leader, the Below, and that whole thing that they're dealing with the Hulk. That's what I want to see with this story, and that's where I want to see them go with it, and it just doesn't really feel like that's their main purpose right now. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Let me know down low in the comment section what you thought about this issue. And next up, coming in at number 8, we have Erratic, number 2. This is cover A. And I thought this was a cool issue, nothing too special about it. I did really like it though, but it felt almost as if it was the same as the first issue. So the first issue was all these brand new characters, they're in a new school, new hometown, and they hit that high school aspect really well. You felt like you were the new kid with Oliver. This issue felt the same way though. It picked up pretty much right where the last one left off, but it was basically just the next day of school. If you can recall from the last issue, that one girl figured out he had powers, she videotaped it, and now that was the whole intro to this issue. She's trying to show him for who he really is, but the video clip's all screwed up. I don't really know how that all works, but they moved on from there, and it's just Oliver trying to socialize and be part of this high school, but he still has these powers deep down, and he knows that if people know he has these powers, they're going to be in danger. A lot more stuff happens towards the very end, but that's exactly how the first issue ended. Like I was just saying, brand new school, everything's new, but then you find out he has powers at the very end, and it's like, wow. So you get drawn into this issue, and this issue was the same way. Very slow to start, slow in the middle, but then a big wow factor happens at the very end. So I do like this series. I like what they're doing with it, but I kind of wish they did a little bit more with some of these, but for those reasons, coming in at number 8. And next up, coming in at number 7, we have The Amazing Spider-Man, number 57. This is cover B, and I really like this cover. And as far as the issue itself goes, it really wasn't that bad. The one problem I did have with it, though, it felt like there were so many different plot points going on, and they just were pretty unnecessary. So the main one, in my opinion, is obviously Norman, Harry, and Peter. They're all together doing their own thing. Well, Harry is Kindred. He's still locked away in his little cube prison cell. But you see Peter and Norman going back and forth, but then they bring Mary Jane back into the mix, and then they also bring in the whole Spider cast that was there before, and everyone's basically kind of teaming up against Peter, saying, he needs help, he needs this, he needs that. And while that was all right to me, they did bring in something else at the very end of the issue, and it just felt unnecessary. I like how they're focusing now kind of on Peter. There's something off with him, and he needs help. The other thing I really didn't like about this issue is I think issue 50, maybe one of those, they brought in all the Spider cast, and they decided to call themselves the Order. Well, in this issue, for some reason, they felt it was necessary to make it official. They all came together on a page, and they were like, yeah, we're the Order now. I don't know. It could be maybe a big thing in the future. Could be a key. Who knows? This series itself, though, not really feeling it, and for all those reasons, coming in at number 7. And now we've got coming in at number 6, 7 Secrets, number 6. This is cover A, and I love this issue. It was so well done. The series itself is extremely well done, and this is a series that I tell everyone they need to be reading. You will not regret it. But as far as this issue goes, as always, I love the artwork. It's very nice and colorful, the dialogue between the characters, but this one was incredibly action-packed. It was nonstop the entire time. Picked up right where the last issue left off. The Seekers are there. They want the secrets from all the Keepers, and for the rest of this issue, it just keeps going and going and going. So much action, a lot of stuff happens to the main characters, and we even get to see what happens when one of the secrets are opened. Not going to be spoiling that for you, but this is something you need to be reading. It's a great series, so coming in at number 6. And now we're down to the top 5 issues of the week. Coming in at number 5, we have DC's Future State, Dark Detective. This is cover A, and I really like this issue. But the problem I had with it is I bought this because it's called Dark Detective. I personally wanted to get into the detective comics. I haven't really read anything about it, and a lot of people have said if you're into Batman right now, it's definitely something you should read. So I picked this up hoping it was about this, and it's split into 2 series just like last week's New Batman was. And I thought the Detective Comics portion side of it really wasn't that good. It was okay. I wanted to see a lot more of it. I thought that they could have expanded on that story a little bit better as far as a first issue goes. But this is coming in at number 5 because the second story was so good to me. It's Cole Cash as the main character, and I just really liked what they did with that story. I don't want to spoil it too much for you because it's honestly like the rest of the Future State that I've read. It's Gotham, the Magistrate is running the show, and we've got these characters who are trying to escape the city. That was pretty much the entire issue. There's a lot of other stuff, obviously, that happens. But if you were on the fence with this, if you wanted Detective Comics, I didn't really think anything was too special about it. I personally wanted to see a lot more. But the second half of this book, that second story, I thought that was incredible. So for those reasons, coming in at number 5. And now we have coming in at number 4, Homesick Pilots, number 2. This is cover A. And I was on the fence with picking this one up, but I was there and I was like, I read the first one. I thought it was all right. So I'll pick this one up just to see if it gets a little bit better. And it got a lot better. It started off with the 2 punk rock bands going back and forth, and then it turned into the house being alive, and it killed some of the punk rockers. And I didn't really like the concept of the house being alive, but this issue expanded on that a lot more, and I thought it was very well done. So the main character, Amy, she's basically being piloted by this house. She's sent out to try and find these artifacts or just items that are missing from the house, and basically her as a ghost, she has to bring them back. I didn't really do a great job explaining that, but this is something I think you should be reading. It was actually very cool, and I think it's going to get a lot better with these next coming issues. They're going to expand and explain a whole lot more stuff. So if you're on the fence with this, it's only 2 issues deep. You should give it a shot. Next up, coming in at number 3, we have Planet of the Symbiotes, number 1. This is cover A, and I didn't really know what to expect from this going into it, but man, it was way better than I expected. So it was split into 2 different stories. The first one has to do with Scream. She's out in the city. She's saving some little kid. Basically, she runs into some other symbiotes, and Knowles, the hive mind is controlling them. And it's basically him saying, come back to the hive, come back to where you belong. I thought the story itself was okay, but the artwork was fantastic. For this issue, though, So the second story, to me, that one's where it's at. So it takes place in Ravencroft. I think it's dealing with the past, but, Noel's there, and he brings back Cortland Cassidy. I thought that was crazy. I'm really excited to see what they do with Cortland in the upcoming Venom run and even the King in Black stuff. So if you have one of his first appearances, definitely hang on to that, because this might actually solidify him as a real character in this series now. But overall, with this issue, I did think it was very good. It's definitely one of the better tie-ins I've read. You should give this one a shot. And now we've got coming in at number 2, we've got DC's Future State Wonder Woman #1. This is cover A, and damn, this was an issue. So we've got Yara Flor. She's the new Wonder Woman from the Amazon, and she basically hits the ground running with this series. It was so good. She's basically got her own mission that she's on. And like I said, I'm not really going to be talking about this one. It's already been out for a week. Everyone's already read it. I just want you guys to know that I finally did pick it up. I finally gave it a read, and this is well worth the money. I think everyone should definitely read this one. So far, this has been my favorite DC Future State that I've read. So let's move on to number 1. And now, coming in at number 1, my top choice of the week for this new comic book day, we've got Image's brand new series. This is cover B, and I've also got cover A right here for you. This, to me, is an absolute must pick up. If you're on eBay at all, a lot of comic shops are already sold out of this one. This set right here has been selling on eBay for about $20 to $30 at the time of me making this video. This was a home run right off the start to me. I'm not a huge fan of Ice Cream Man, and this is written by the same guy. It's kind of the same style artwork, a little similar, slightly different. But this one has a clown as the main character right now. I'm not sure what their game plan is with this, if it's going to be all separate stories just like Ice Cream Man is. But man, this one kind of hits because it kind of feels like I can relate to this character. He's got family issues, he has no money, he's got a dead-end job, and it just kind of is, I don't know, relatable to a lot of people. And it just shows what people who have nothing and keep getting kind of shit on in their life are willing to do. But the thing with this is you kind of see maybe he's a little crazy because, he's talking to himself the entire issue. We're in his head. But the whole time, he's basically just, you got to stay positive. I've got a great life, and I love the way that was written. It's like one bad thing is happening, but you see it in his head as he's just talking to himself saying, I've got a great life. This is incredible right now. And I don't know. It was a pretty creepy issue. I know they're going to go really deep with this series. I'm really looking forward to it. To me, this is definitely my number 1 choice of the week. It was a fantastic issue. Do yourself a favor and pick up Image's new series, Alright everyone, so what'd you guys think of this new comic book day? I thought overall it was pretty solid. Some of the issues obviously way better than the other ones. I thought DC's Future State Detective Comics was definitely a letdown, only because I wanted more Detective Comics side of it, but the whole second half of that issue was fantastic. And Image's new series, that was such a home run right off the bat. I love that series. Let me know down below in the comment section what you thought about that issue and which one your favorite one this week was. So thank you for watching my video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.